Isolation can change your life if you let it. Now, I know the first thing you're thinking is, Trent, I don't want to be alone. I want to be with somebody. Give me one moment. One moment, let me just explain something to you. So, I would consider this period of my life to be one of the loneliest I've ever been in my life. And I don't say this in a bad way, because I feel like loneliness is just a state of mind. It's not like, it's really just in the mind. Everything that we think that, I'm lonely, it's all in your head. Because if I look around, there's people out here. I'm not by myself. I got my dog with me, but however, romantically, I would consider myself to be single. So in that sense, I guess you could say that I am lonely. Of course, the dogs want to bark when I start making my video. That's annoying. But isolation, I feel like it's a very crucial part in just self-discovery, healing, spirituality. All things good come in solitude. What do I mean by that? Primarily, when I look back on my life and the stuff that I have allowed, the stuff that I have done, I don't regret it. But when I look back and I say like, okay, I could have done this differently, a lot of it came from the simple fact that I didn't want to be alone. I was so afraid of being by myself because I felt as though that, being by yourself is a bad thing. Being alone is a bad thing. There's a difference between being alone and being lonely. Being lonely is kind of depressing. You feel as though that there is nothing good that could come of it. But when you're alone, you recognize that you sort of embrace solitude. And the way that I look at solitude is that when I'm by myself, I feel like I am the most creative. I am the most connected to God. I am at most peace because I dictate the energy, my thoughts, my habits, everything that I want good to happen. I have full autonomy and control of it when I am by myself. And I think something that we don't do enough of is spend time by ourselves, which is why we find ourselves in relationships, friendships, jobs, situations that don't serve us, because we never take that time to sit down with our thoughts and emotions and ask ourselves, well, is this something that I actually want? Primarily because we never really get the time to. It wasn't until I moved out of my mom's house and I started living on my own where I really started to cultivate a sense of identity within myself. Now, of course, I was starting to cultivate that beforehand, but not like this. Like, I think that I am forced to face a lot of my insecurities because I am by myself. I don't have nobody to blame anymore. And I think that that's something that I want you all to kind of look at solitude as more so as something that is happening for you rather than something that's happening to you. Because I think that's something that we tend to do a lot of, myself included, is that we like to hop into the first relationship that we get to, or we get in, or the first person that we see, or we're doing stuff to essentially escape solitude. But why? I feel like when we actually ask ourselves why we're doing that, there's an opportunity for growth there. I know that for me personally, when I look at my life and I ask myself, why don't I want to be by myself? It's because I never really took the time to really ask myself, what are the things that make me happy? And before I started making these videos, before I started really diving into my content, my music and stuff like that, I didn't want to face the reality that I didn't really like myself. That's like something that a lot of us do face. Like, I think when we want to escape loneliness or solitude, it's because we don't really like ourselves like we think we do. We want to do stuff to kind of get out of our own space, because it's like, just look at society. Like, everything is just, we got Netflix, we got our phones, we got clubs, we got alcohol, drugs. Everything is to escape our present reality, because nobody wants to be by themselves. It's so unbearable to sit with your thoughts, because a lot of times the thoughts that we have are negative. But what we fail to realize is that when we do spend time with ourselves and we actually sit and look and observe those thoughts, don't judge it, we can actually take the time to change those thoughts. So for me, a thought that I would constantly find myself saying is that, I have to keep getting better. I have to keep progressing my life forward, my career forward, what have you. But it stemmed from a place of lack because I didn't feel secure enough in myself to be like, you know what, Trent, if you want to take a break today, you could take a break today. Prime example, yesterday I didn't post a video. I didn't beat myself up about it because I had a great conversation with a gentleman who breeds dogs. Now, probably not gonna buy a dog from him, but it was a great conversation nonetheless. I love talking to people. I love hearing people's backgrounds and their stories because, I feel like there's not too many people in the world who get a chance to really express themselves to somebody that doesn't know them. So I wanted to give that gentleman that opportunity, and it was a great opportunity, or a great conversation, I should say. And I got his number, and it was great. But in the past, I would have beat myself up about it because I was just like, bro, what are you doing? Why didn't you post a video? Like, fuck this guy. But at the end of the day, that's not what I wanted to promote. I want to promote love, peace, and happiness. And I think that I can't always look at it as if I'm not getting something out of it, then it's a waste. But I still got something out of the conversation. It was like a lot of insight. He gave me a lot of wisdom because he was an older guy. So now I know I'm getting off topic, but primarily what I'm trying to get at is that solitude can be your best friend. It could be your greatest superpower even. And earlier in the video, I talked about how it gets me closer to God. I think that in one of my earlier videos where I talk about the law of detachment, I think the true way to really connect to your higher power or your higher self, I have to start screaming because the trains are coming. The way to really connect to your higher self and to really detach from the past or the future is to spend time by yourself and to really ground yourself in the reality. Like the reality is that right now I'm shooting this video. Right now there's a train going behind me. Right now my dog is right by my foot, and life is good. Life is calm, life is happy, it's peaceful. And that's me in solitude. You know what I'm saying? Like I think we spend too much of our time trying to escape ourselves, really. But it's like we're going to be with ourselves for the rest of our lives. So why not start to shape our reality into the way that would actually help us be better, be happier, wake up and look forward to the day rather than wake up and like, oh, I got to get through yet again another day. Like in the video before, I talked about protecting your energy. A good way to really cleanse yourself of all negativity is to start to create your own energy within yourself. But how can you do that if you don't spend time with yourself? And I know it's difficult. Some of us are in, live in situations where we're in a household where we got our parents, we got our brothers, our siblings or whatever. But solitude doesn't have to be like, you could do the extreme like I did, which I feel like everybody should do at some point, move out of your hometown and go into a new city and live by yourself. Or you can just start meditating or doing things that really ground you in your present reality. Like I think I kind of go off and on with meditation because it's not something that I feel like I need. It's not something that I feel like I need right now, at least in this period of my life. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just making an excuse. Who knows? But I know that when I did meditate, it did ground me in my reality. It forced me to be present, focus on my breathing and stuff like that. Meditation is a good way to ground yourself in solitude. But I think also is just really fully submerging yourself in something that you love. For me, it's making videos. For you, it could be something else. It could be drawing. It could be making music. It could be going on walks. I love going on walks. I think going on walks is a great way for me to connect to God, connect to myself, because I know that when I'm on a walk, everything is kind of slowed down. And you really start to take in like, damn, look at this tree, look at the sun, look at these people by me. Like life is really amazing. I don't think we really get time to really appreciate everything around us when we aren't by ourselves, because we're always next to someone or out partying, out drinking or doing stuff. And it's not to say that I think these things are bad things, but I think that if you want to live a life that promotes positivity, good fortune, and good health and love, I think that a great way to start to build the foundation It's to really fall in love with solitude. I'm going through a breakup. I think I've touched on this maybe like 2 videos ago, where I wasn't even like, obviously parts of me is still hurt, but there's a larger part of me that is really excited because I get so much time. I get my time back to really open myself up to just so much love that I feel like I wasn't getting in that relationship. I can now give to myself. I can spend so much time doing the things that I actually want to do that I didn't get to do in the relationship because of a specific person. I just get my time back. And I really start to value and appreciate everything that I do, the conversations that I have, the people that I hang around, me working out. So many things I get to appreciate because I am by myself. And I think that that's something that solitude also helps with, gratitude. How can you be grateful for anybody or anything if you don't get time to like figure out who you are when all of those things are removed? You know? Like, I think for me, when I sit by myself and I don't got the TV on, I don't got music playing, I don't got, nothing going on, it's really just me and my thoughts. That's when I really start to say like, man, what am I really stressing about? And then you start to really tap into like, man, our thoughts really do shape our reality. So what we focus on continues to grow, but we also have the power to change all of that. So I'm gonna start to wrap this up because we're hovering around that 10-minute mark. But in closing, if it's anything I want you to take away from this video, I want you to take away this. If you really want to start to change your life for the better, rather than running away from solitude, start to lean into it more, because the more time that we spend by ourselves, the more we start to appreciate life and other people and have a lot more gratitude rather than dissatisfaction with everything around us. Okay? That was a good video. If you made this far in the video, I want to say thank you all so much. My name is Trent Bishop. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Until next time, peace.